welcome to the Havelock's grounds, which is bathed in light. It was bathed in showers a little while earlier, but here we are waiting for the kickoff of Havelocks versus CRNFC, the second leg of the Mathis Trophy. CRNFC training. In the Dialog Rugby Division League today. This is round 3, the Spanish one is the penalty. We're expecting an absolute the past several decades, if not more than that. We've got some great pictures lined up for you today on ThePapare.com, and we will be bringing you pictures also from our drone camera, which is set up nicely, which was here last time these two teams played as well. So we'll be seeing some spider cam sort of action from them as well, and we are looking forward also very specially to the ThePapare app, which will be launched today, and that's going to be launched at halftime or after the game, one of the two, and it's going to be a very special app that's going to be launched. Joining me in the commentary box, Jan Gunatilaka alongside Paul Toya, and we'll be speaking to them in just a moment as we look at Havelock Sports Club. We have Rahul De Silva actually playing in the number 10 position. That's not exactly the team sheet we have got, but we have Dushmanta Priyadarshana Prasad Madhushanka and Ganuka Dishanayaka in at the front row, Ganithu Lakshan and Janik Jayasuriya alongside Sudarshan Muthutanthi, Rohit Rajapaksa and Lasindu Ishan in the third row. Rahul moves to number 9. Niroshan Fernando is listed as starting at 10, although we have on our team sheets Hiranta Pereira, who's supposedly starting at 10. Rehan Tyagaraja makes a comeback, as does Danushka Ranjan, and Sandun Herat also playing in the number 14 position. Rimzi Jamaldeen at fullback. In the CRNFC camp, we have Shane Samada Perumal, Lahiru Pavitra making the starting lineup this time. Nipuna Devinda also. And the very interesting new second row combination of Panduka Angamana and Shemal Veerasekara. Jason Disanayaka will be their go-to line-out man. Tariq Sali at number 7 alongside Arun Kumar. Kavinda De Costa is the scrum half, who will pair off with the returning Tarinder Ratwat. Sashan Mohammed at number 11. Banuka Nanyakara, Kanchana Ramanayaka, Kavindu Pereira and Prince Chamara are the backs that have lined up for CRNFC. So going to be an interesting match. Jan, how do you see this one going, especially with the weather?
Well, Havelocks turned out last week against Police FC, and it wasn't the ideal performance leading into this game. Coach Laga won't have been happy even though they scraped through. But it's a trophy game, and the weather kind of neutralizes things, because I thought Havelocks probably had the better side. But I think we're in for a cracker today, Shanagar.
Yeah, we'll see whether that is how it goes. Paul, it's interesting weather conditions here for rugby. I'm sure you would have played a lot of rugby in these sort of conditions down in Dunedin, so that's going to be a factor. How would you see this affecting both teams, and how do you see it affecting the game as a whole?
I'd imagine that it'll be a forward-based game, but they'll probably kick from 10. And we'll just see how they come from there. But I'd imagine they'll keep it quite tight. I'd be surprised if it goes anywhere past the 13s.
Okay, so Paul doesn't expect us to see too much running rugby. That's Mr. Nigel Forbes in the middle of your picture there. Played for Havelocks in 84-85 and also served on the rugby board of SIA for 5 years, ending in 2014. So lots of crossovers between these two clubs, lots of history between these two clubs, as we see our drone pictures over the crowd that's gathered here today, and plenty of people coming here to watch this game as well, and that's good to see despite the weather. I'm sure a few more will trickle in because the weather has cleared up nicely, and hopefully you won't see too many showers during the game. We've just witnessed a match between the Sri Lanka women's A team and B team, and that was a good performance from the Sri Lankan ladies as well, who are very disappointed at not being allowed into Chennai to play that World Series, the Olympic qualifier. So that was a shame. Paul, you watched that game. Were you impressed by the standard of the ladies rugby?
I was impressed with the passing and the width that they were using. Their ball skills were excellent. They were standing players up, and I thought they showed a lot of pace going around the outside of players, but also just with the wet ball, they were able to hold on to possession well. I thought it was good.
John, we've been watching this competition for a while now, and we haven't been overly impressed, despite the professionalism that exists in this league, with the handling. Do you think that that's going to get affected today? Do you think that Havelocks will be a little affected, having their main threats like Danush Karanthan and Sadun Herath out wide? Do you think the weather condition will hamper them?
Well, I think it will hamper both teams, Shanaka. It's not ideal. The ground's wet. Walking into the ground, it was pretty soggy. So it depends on how you cope with it. So the teams will have to narrow a lot closer in attacking and just make sure that they don't force that final pass. So whichever team adopts better the conditions will probably come up on top today.
Shane Samada Peruma captaining CRNFC today, the former Wesleyite. That's a big honor for him, of course. Ashan Di Costa not in the side today, not on the team sheet, so he's probably suffered an injury, which is why Tarinder Ratwatta will be making his start at number 10. Those are the VIPs sitting up there in the Havelocks Pavilion, and these are the men who will be entrusted with running the game today. Priyantha Gunaratne, who is the man out in front there of those canary yellow jerseys. He will be the one in charge of the second leg of the Matthews Trophy, and it has been a fairly interesting year for referees so far, Jan, and the standard hasn't dropped as we were expecting it to after the whole shake-up, and hopefully it will be a well-controlled game today.
Yes, I was delighted to see Priyantha Gunaratne with the whistle, because in my opinion, I believe he's one of the better referees, or if not the best referee we have in Sri Lanka. So, hopefully, and he tends to favor open play, and, he doesn't sweat the small stuff, which is good from a spectator's point of view. What we need to remind all our viewers is today is a derby game, irrespective of where they lie in the league. When it's a derby game, I'm sure Paul's creating a few as well. You lift up your game and you just don't want to give that inch. And CR not being too far from here, you need to have that local bragging rights in your favor, even though you probably don't win the league.
And what Paul may not also be knowing is that there are several ex-CR players in this Havelock side as well, Paul. So there's no love lost between these two teams. Some have left under conditions that are less than ideal. So I'm sure they'd want to show their old club off a few things. So you've been witnessing Sri Lankan rugby for a couple of weeks now. What are your assessments of the game here in this country?
I thought the weather conditions play a big part in the second half of the second half. You see the fitness really come into tell, and there seems to be a few more mistakes coming into play in the last 10-15 minutes of the match. So look, I'll be pleased to see who can handle that pressure at the end of the game.
Yeah, that's interesting you should say that, Paul, because we sometimes don't notice that it is the weather that plays that part, because when you've played in another part of the world and you're not used to this sort of humidity, then you realize how much the weather does affect you. I had a friend who came over, said he went for a 3K run, it felt like a 20K run. And how do you combat that in this day and age? Do you actually just go for the bench, or what? We'll talk about that in a moment as the Havelock's team runs out onto their home ground, Havelock Park, a newly relayed Havelock Park, which is already very patchy with just a very heavy shower of rain earlier on this afternoon. So you can wait for that to get churned up by these big forwards who will be doing their stuff out here. But Sadun Herath leads the side that will be looking to retain this Matthews Trophy. They've been the dominant side in this encounter for quite a while. That's Rahul De Silva in your picture, who played for the Red Shirts last year. He's playing against them this year, and he has been one of the standout players of the season so far. So Niroshan Fernando also returning at number 10. That's what we've been led to believe, although he's listed on the bench as far as we're concerned. So we'll tell you that starting lineup will only be confirmed as soon as we see the players on the field. So going back to what we were discussing, Paul, how do you combat that sort of pressure that is put on by the weather to make sure you can play 80 minutes of quality rugby?
Well, you'd obviously hydrate a lot during the game, and every opportunity you'd have someone coming on and giving the boys water, but you've got to use your whole bench. So the big players can play a whole 60 minutes and then bring on some substitutes and try and turn the game with those guys.
CRNFC running out as well, the Red Shirts of Longdon Place, back at their traditional battleground, as it were. This has been the derby match, as Jayan has described for many, many years. CRNFC versus Havelocks before the newer rivalry, CRNFC versus Kandy, became the match that everyone looked forward to. But in the 60s and the 70s and even in the 80s, CRNFC versus Havelocks was a very special game, and all the players did lift their games up a couple of notches when they encountered this sort of opposition. Jayan, it's going to be a game that CR will find difficult because to win the Mathis Trophy, they're trailing by a few points, 16 points if I'm not mistaken, and they will have to play all the rugby to win this game and try and retain the Mathis Trophy.
Anything is possible. CR is one of those sides that have probably underachieved this season. Things haven't quite gone their way. They've been a bit unlucky at times. But they're looking for that perfect performance, and this evening just might be it, you know, and what better platform to deliver that than on a derby day game.
Absolutely, and talking about performances, we had two contrasting performances from these two teams where Havelocks played quite patchily and actually managed to win against Police last week by 3 points. And then we had CRNFC who played brilliantly and didn't actually manage to beat Kandy last week. As we see the chief guest going to be introduced to the two teams, that's Mr. Sriyan Kure, who will be introducing the chief guest to the teams. That's Shane taking chief guest down. His team will be introduced second to the home team, of course. And don't forget, the ThePapare Fan Zone app will be released today. You can download that on the Google Play Store, and we're looking forward to a big launch of that coming up later on this evening here at Havelock's grounds. But as I was saying, contrasting performances, CR playing well and losing, and then Havelock's playing badly and winning. Paul, how would that affect them going into this weekend's games?
Well, I'd imagine being a derby match, it'll be all about the first 5 or 10 minutes. There'll be a lot of fire and brimstone, a lot of passion, a lot of heart, and then they'll get down to playing rugby. With behind 16 points, CR really need to play rugby where they're going to score points. I thought that was where they missed out last week against Kandy. They had a few opportunities to score points, and rugby's a pretty simple game. It's really about the scoreboard at the end of the day and who's got the most points. So you can be an attractive team and play a lot of territory and be in into the opposition's 22 a lot, but if you come away and you don't have the points, then you lose.
It's a pretty cruel game that way as well. Jayan, how do you, if you were in the coach's box, what would you be saying to your teams before this game?
What I'll tell them is that when they get into the opposition 22, they have to come away with points, you know, because there's nothing more demoralizing than doing all the hard work and seeing the boil coughed up than the other team running the rest of the field. So points will be on. If points do come on offer, it'll be crucial that they kick the ball between the sticks, get the dirty lead, and continue to dominate position from or territory from that point onwards.
Sashan Mohammed, the man in our screen just a little while ago, and he's one that missed a couple of opportunities against Kandy. He'll want that to come good this time. Lairu Pavitra was quite physical against Rahul De Silva last time around. It was very clear that Havelock's CRNFC targeted Rahul and tried to break Havelock's game plan from there. So it would be interesting to see how Rahul reacts to that today, and whether to see if CRNFC adopt the same thing as well. Rohit Rajapaksa in a rare start for Havelock this time around in the number 7 jersey. So he usually comes off the bench, but he's been given the starting responsibilities today by coach Tavita Tulagesi, and he will probably play about 55 or 60 minutes in this game. Lasindu Ishan also in that number 20 jersey for Havelocks will be a man to watch. Charik Surya asking for some divine intervention as well, and Banu Kananiakara will be in midfield, preferred to Amila Bandara today. And Tarinder Rathpath gets this game underway. It's going to be 80 minutes of no quarter asked or given, taken there by Ganindu Lakshan. And a tidy collection from Havelocks. That long box kick from Rahul De Silva, he'll be putting a few of those up today. CRNFC don't deal with it. And already you can see how soggy the ground is. Kavinda De Costa returns the favor. Rahul collects it on the bounce, and now they don't have a scrum half, so they've got to move this quickly. they do through Sudarshan Muthukanthri. De Silva goes blindside. Karuna Tilaka cutting in.
Back, no.
Another long box.
Get back, no hands.
Well dealt with that time by Arun Kumar. And Kavindu De Costa has a chance to clear his lines through his fly half. Ratwata can't kick it out on the full, so he thumps it deep. And Rimsey Jamaldeen has read it well. Few options for Jamaldeen, so he opts to go for the up and under as well.
All offside.
Everyone offside, says the referee. And Arun Kumar looks to take it quickly and inject some pace into this game. Urgency in the first few minutes, as Paul was talking about a few seconds ago. De Costa takes a couple of steps and gives it to his big forward runners. Good strength from Havelock to hold them up here. They're looking for a turnover. Janik Jasuria, Dushmanta Priyadarshana, all in there, and that's a great bit of defense from Havelock's first up. So very clear tactic there, and the big boys coming good, Paul.
Well, you saw there that it's going to be heavily influenced by the kicking, but I think just as important as the kicking is the chasing game, and you saw CR put up a great chase, and the fullback for Javi's having no option but to kick back.
Correct.
Jan, the chase is something a lot of, here's where the turnover came. So Pandu Kangambana went into contact. You can see Dushmanta Priyadarshana, Kanindu Lakshan and Janik Jasuri all gang tackling him and keeping him up there.
Set. Steady.
A good bit of defense.
Steady.
Is that something that's coached now, Jan?
Yes, it is, and body positioning is key, especially when you go into contact, and it's not like taking the ball forward. It's of no use if you can't get the ball back to your team. So that's something that we've seen time and time again amongst club sides this season.
Again, a little bit too long from Rahul De Silva. Tanushka Ranjan putting in the tackle, and now a little bit of space for Shashan Mohammed.
Yeah, no hands.
Quick ball out from Prince Chamara. It's an improvised pass, but it seemed to work. The referees come back for a penalty.
Late charge.
Late charge, he says.
Late charge.
So Havelocks will have to mind their discipline, and CR will be very happy to get some points on the board early doors if they can.
CR got a penalty earlier on and they opted to go for the quick tap. It looks brilliant when he comes off, but then when you cough up the ball and it's turned over, it makes you wonder whether they were better off going for touch given the conditions. Now we see CR having a situation where they have a line out not too far from the Havelock's goal line. And that very well could have happened ago. So we'll see who. It's interesting to see what decisions they make on the field. You know, you can only coach so much, but it comes down to the players on the field.
Shane Samada Peruma, the prop making the calls today. Samal Veerasekara takes that well, but Habby's with a big drive early on.
No hands! No hands!
CR managed to retain it though and still trundling
No
forward.
hands! Roll away! Roll away!
Quick ball available for Arun Kumar. He sees the line, goes straight through the middle. Still available now in the Pereira, and Niroshan Fernando is up quickly in defense. And the ball is out, nobody wants it. Shane comes around and collects it in the end. So Havelock's really putting some pressure on the CR ball carriers. Kavindu De Costa asking his forwards to join in. They're looking for the pick and go here clearly. Nipuna Devinder. And referee calling it up and going to have a word with the two skippers to tell you what they say in the moment.
Number 7, number 9. Game with the control karane mama, right? Large warning. Next time penal. Right?
Well, he said a few things, but what he's telling them is that number 7, number 9, I'm controlling the game. Please do not do what we're doing pretty much and give a live commentary while the game is going on. So he's been very strict with the captain and said this is the last time and I'm the one who's going to be controlling this game. Paul, that big drive coming in, really disrupting that attacking platform that they were hoping to set up?
Well, we saw that at a line out time they didn't contest for the ball and they just waited for the ball to come down and they were waiting basically. So that was their plan at that point. We'll see if they do that again next time.
CRNFC have the scrum. Arun Kumar doesn't control it first time. Great turnover there by Lasindu Ishan. It's outstanding body position. And now Niroshan Fernando puts a little kick in. That's a sneaky one. And he knew he had the penalty coming, so I guess that's why he tried it. Niroshan's an experienced campaigner. Otherwise, I couldn't imagine that he would have tried a cheeky kick like that.
I could hardly believe my eyes, Shanaka, when that happened, and I was wondering, wow, does he not know where he is on the field? But he was obviously wise to what was going on, and he was obviously aware that there was advantage being played.
Arun Kumar giving away that penalty there because Lasindu Ishan had rights to the ball. Was nice and strong over it. He's really impressed me, Jan, the Science College captain. But unfortunately, given his height, probably not going to be an international standard number 8, is he?
Yeah, that's a problem that you see. I mean, we've had so many great players who've really taken the school rugby season by storm. But looking at them, they obviously not met the demands of, you know, what the physicality aspect of the game today, and they seem to struggle when they play club rugby and look to advance their prospects.
Bit of a high hit going in there on Fernando, but referee says play on.
Shana, going back to my earlier point, CRNFC were in an ideal situation there, and they should have come back with some points, but that's gone a begging. So let's see if they come back to rue that opportunity, that missed opportunity.
That's knocked forward by Rahul De Silva. It came off his head by the looks of things. Shane Samanthapperuma decides to carry on anyway. Kavindu De Costa gets snaffled by a couple of quick defensive line players. A knock forward is coming. But you can see what Havelocks are doing, Paul. They're really attacking the fringes very quickly. They're almost playing a mini umbrella defense around those fringes there and really disrupting the ball going to Sia's backs.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on around the ruck, and it's seeming to pay dividends. And also on attack, they're just putting the ball just behind the backs so that they're turning the CR backs around and not putting the ball in the 15's hands. So it's sort of in no man's land, and that's dangerous when it's wet like this.
Yeah, it'll require the half-back and the third row to do a lot of covering today. Fitness is definitely going to come into this. It's not steady, says the ref, so he gives a free kick, which is not taken quickly as they are these days. It's a strange call. Shane Samanthapperuma opting to ask for a scrum despite the free kick being awarded. Well within his rights to do it, but why would he make that call, Paul?
I thought he sort of pointed at the sideline thinking that he could kick it for touch, but then his number 9 said, no, we can't do that. We can't kick it out on the full, so he opted for the scrum. It was too late to go quickly.
Some great shots from our ThePapare commentary position for us here. It's a better scrum from Sia. Rahul De Silva getting away with coming just outside. It didn't impact the game, so good to see the referee allowing that to carry on. Oh, well, he didn't allow it to carry on. He's come back and called it, so De Silva a little bit too over-eager there. And Jayan, that's what we call material impact on the game here. Would you have called that one?
Well, it's early days. Maybe the referee is trying to, you know, stamp his mark and set, you know, a type of pattern of how he wants the game to be played, and he doesn't want, you know, scrum half sneaking up in the scrum and that sort of thing. So let's just hope he's consistent, Shanaka.
Yes, the other aspect has been the scrum half blocking, the attacking scrum half blocking the defending scrum half from coming round. So it's important that the referees are very strict around that area, especially early on in the game. It's the first 10 minutes so far. And despite Tharendra Ratpatha being in the starting lineup, it looks like it's Prince Chamara who's lining this kick up. He hasn't, or in fact it's Kanchana Ramanayaka. I'm not sure he's your first choice, but may prove us all wrong. May have been doing a lot of work in training this week. And the right call to go for the posts, Paul?
Oh, strange that they go for the points now, because they had 2 opportunities earlier that were easier to kick. And now this very difficult kick. Ooh, might have snuck it over, did he? No, just missed.
Just going under the crossbar, bouncing into the dead ball area, just under where we're seated here at this Havelock's Sports Club grounds, which looks picturesque despite the wetness. Really has been a revelation, this nighttime rugby, and it would be nice if more clubs had the funding to invest in these games, because the quality of the rugby, like Paul said, is not affected by the humidity and the heat, so we're likely to see more entertaining games as a result of it. And hopefully that'll be something that the authorities and the sponsors will be able to look at in the not too distant future. Rehan Thiagaraja takes that well. Dushmanta Priyadarshana to Ganuka Disanayaka, Disipatana schoolboy across the road to Havelock. Don't know how that ball came out of that ruck without a hand being in there, but referee Priyantha Gunaratna has the same concerns, and the penalty is coming. So Havelock for the first time, Jahan, to try and get into Sia's half.
Yes, you know, it's a shame with the referees communicating so much to the players, and over the microphone we heard Priyantha Gunaratna very clearly asking the opposition to let it go, that it was a rough form, and you just give away and you cheap penalties like that. You know, it's unfortunate, because where were they in the field? They were in the Havelock's territory, and they go and give cheap penalties like that. And in games like this where it's so hard to make ground, why do you want to give cheap position away like that?
About discipline, about making sure that they keep their discipline. It's almost like it's something that can be switched on and off at international level, Paul, but it really is a function of fitness, isn't it, more than anything else?
Yeah, that's right. Fitness plays a key part in keeping you disciplined, because once your fitness starts going, you get a little bit slack and lazy, and your skills drop.
Referee Gunaratna communicating quite well with the players. He seems relaxed. He's not authoritarian as well, but he laid down the law early on to Kavindra De Costa and Tariq Salih, saying no thanks very much. I'll run my own game.
Both side, number 9. My goal again, ball again. Oh.
Scrums have been decent. No obvious advantage in for either team. Jan, do you think that'll be a factor later on in the game?
Set.
Yeah, well, it will come down to bench strength. You know, come the 60-minute mark, it's interesting to see what the teams have up their sleeve. And I think Havelocks have probably, looking at their starting 15, you get the impression that they are planning for the full 80. And you know, so I have a funny feeling that Havelocks will probably have a bit of afterburners towards the last bit of the game, Shanaka.
Okay.
Let's see how that pans out. Small kick over the top. Knock forward, but referee playing advantage. And Sandun Herath finds now Dushmanta Priyadarshana coming in on the angle. He's such a hard-working prop forward. Good clearing out by Havelock there.
Advantage over.
Fernando with a long ball out to Danushka Ranjan now. Nice to see him back on the field. That's not deferring the opposition though.
Back. Play on.
Good counter up there from Sia. But have retained the ball. It's a nice flat ball to Dushmanta Priyadarshana. He's isolated now, but manages to stay on his feet until his front row buddy arrives. But numbers over. Sadun Herath opts not to pass it.
Roll away. No hands. Back.
Rahul De Silva takes a while arriving, but Prasad Madhushankar leaves the ball behind. That's a shame. It wasn't a great pass, to be honest. But you'd expect him to have taken that, and Sia will gleefully thump this one into touch. It just rolls into touch and wins to Jamaldeen. Can't take the quick throw because the Sia coaching staff sneakily get their boot on the ball. So, again a good passage of play, but no points.
Yeah, it was good to see Javi's build some phases and then just build some pressure. I thought there was an easy pass there. The player was free on the outside, and they could have taken that opportunity, and that's really where it stopped. But it's good to see phases being built.
Looking at guys like Nishan Pereira and Kevin Dixon to come off the bench for Havelock's Giant, they could be the guys that really feature in the last 20.
Definitely, Shanaka. So that's what I was suggesting when I was talking about the bench strength of the teams. I thought that Havelock's probably had the edge over CR there. So it's a poor piece of handling again.
Well, that's the wet ball for you. Sometimes when the pass is spun at you, it can be a little difficult to take in these conditions. That's 2 knock-ons already. Arun Kumar and Niroshan Fernando having a little bit of a disagreement.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day hangover by the looks of things, Paul.
Arun Kumar is not the type of bloke you want to run into on a dark alley now, is he, Shanaka?
Certainly not on Valentine's Day, I'll tell you that much.
Look to be giving Niroshan Fernando a bit of a facial there.
Niroshan Fernando making a comeback after a long layoff with a hamstring injury.
Ball in, second set.
And then you run into Arun Kumar.
Yes, when it rains, it pours.
Ready, coach. Bye.
Arun Kumar also very familiar to this part of town. Played his rugby at Isipatana.
In.
Now Thaindra Ratwata looks to run. Couple of dummy switches. And now space for Sashan Mohammed, but one of those passes was definitely forward. And referee Priyantha Gunaratna spots it. A little elaborate for the moment, Paul.
Yeah, with the forwards putting the ball down a couple of times there, and it looks like it's a slippery ball and hard to handle. The backs decided that they're going to spin it out wide and try and do something. And the last pass was just a little bit forward, but it was a good idea. It looked good.
You know, what I observed is they seem to be keen on getting the ball out wide to begin with. You'd rather think that they're probably better off going the other way around, where you take the ball up to the forwards, and then when the overlap opens, then you probably take the chance and spin it out wide.
Set.
Well, it seems the obvious thing to do, but obviously we are not the ones in the best position to call the shots because the players seem to think otherwise. But getting Dhanushka Ranjan into the mix is what they're all about. And here's Sandun Herat. Good tackle on him by Kavindu Pereira. Needed to hang on to him though. And,
Thank you.
Dhanushka Ranjan sporting this fancy new ponytail. You can watch it here again. Sandun Herat. It's a good hit by Kavindu Pereira, who's not the biggest man in the world.
Time off.
He just copped a knee to the head there by the heavy player coming through when he was on the ground. It was accidental, but they all hurt.
Probably have to take him off for a bit of a concussion test. And yeah, if it is the kneecap to the head at pace, that can be pretty damaging. Kavindu Pereira doesn't look too happy.
Time on. Mark here.
But the ice does the trick.
Wait. 10 meter back.
Well stolen there by Ganidu Lakshan. He's an outstanding line-out option for any team that he plays for. Also a former CR player. Couldn't make the grade, so shifted across town. And that's a
Forward
bad
pass.
bit of handling from Rehan Thiagaraja. I can't really blame him because the ball was absolutely wet. Quickest player on the field easily, Jan, Rehan Thiagaraja, but we probably won't see much of that today.
Yes, you get the feeling that both teams are forcing the issue with trying to get the ball out wide. You know, and if you look at where they are right now, I mean, they've actually backpedaled and given the ball back to the other side. So perhaps the message at halftime by both coaches would be to just keep the ball with the forwards, take the ball up, grind the opposition out, and then you know, then take it from there. Look at the wall on the pitch, Shanaka.
Yes, I walked through that part of the pitch and I was pretty surprised at how badly it had got flooded. It was a pretty sharp shower early on in the day.
In.
The CR players will argue that you'll never see that at London Place.
They will. And they may well be right, as Bhanuka Nanayakkara thunders forward using those big legs of his. Shane Samada Peruma. This is better from Sia.
Offside. Offside.
There's a mile offside there.
Referee's called it a playing advantage.
Offside. Advantage.
That should have been offloaded there. Looked like they had numbers over on the outside. Now they spotted the gap. Kavidu Pereira, that's a nice long ball. Well taken. He's recovered from his concussion. Lovely offload.
No hands. No hands.
And that's turned over. Beautifully turned over, in fact, by Samun Herat there. But the referee says no. There were hands in there, and the ruck was formed. He's resting his hands on the ground, so that's an interesting call. I'm sure we can see a replay of that in a bit, but referees have been told to be very strict about this, Paul, where players rest their hands on the ground and then go in for the turnover.
Yeah, the law states that you've got to support your own body weight, and there he's obviously not. His hands are on the ground, and the ref picks him up rightly. But they almost continue to play, and maybe the referee didn't blow his whistle loud enough, but it looks like there's a little bit more passion going in there, being a derby as well.
And that's interesting that Southern Herat's technique there, it's one I haven't seen. I've seen players resting their palms on the ground to get some support. But this time he turned his palms inwards and was actually resting the back of his hands on the ground to make it look like he was trying to scoop the ball up. So he's one step ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, you generally probably won't get away with that unless your last name is McCaw. But then I shouldn't make too many McCaw statements, considering that there's one full Kiwi and one adopted Kiwi in the commentary team here.
And that should be Sir Richard McCaw as well.
Was United? No, not yet. He will be though. There's no danger of that not happening. Prince Chamara knocking over the easy one. And this is what I don't understand. The Kanchan Ramanaka takes the kicks from beyond the 40 meters. Prince Chamara takes the easy ones under the posts, and I don't know what Karinda Ratwat's job role will be with the kicking today, so don't understand why the same kicker who takes the difficult ones can't take the easy ones as well. It boggles the mind for me, actually. Ramsey Jamaldeen restarts when after Sia have gone couple down, and this is the man, the danger man, Dhanushka Ranjan. Oh, just not able to get the offload away. Can see how dangerous he is, Paul. We were talking about him before the game started, and that's why he's a real danger.
It was all set up by that beautiful kickoff. Great pressure to knock the ball back, and it came into his arms, and he's lethal when he gets some space.
And that's a little knock forward from Bhanuka Nanayakkara, and that's the space you don't want him to be in. Kavidu Pereira's turned quite the other way, and Sandhu Nehera trying to get onto the end of that, but just behind him, that ball. Dhanushka Ranjan has been out of action since the Kandy game in the first round. And it's nice to see him recovered. He's hurt his other knee. He had a bad ACL injury playing for St. Peter's in his final year. Recovered beautifully from that. Was outstanding for Sri Lanka in the sevens. And now seems to have busted the other one. So hopefully he'll be back. And back with a bang for the Tuskers. Scheduled move to Kandy next season in a record spending spree by Kandy. Spending 10 million rupees on him is what the grapevine says, and it'll be worth every one of those pennies.
So Colombo's lost his Kandy's game. I mean, he's an outstanding player, no doubt about it. Dhanushka Ranjan's he'll add to the arsenal of any team that has him in their ranks, and Kandy will with Fazil Marija probably getting on a bit. I think he'll probably take over the mantle from there.
Yes, he will form the attacking threat now with Fazil injured as well, and back injury which might turn out to be chronic if they're not managed very carefully. A good rolling maul there from Siam, making quite a few meters. Surprised we haven't seen more of this already. It's almost half an hour gone before we see the first real rolling maul. Well taken by Ramanayaka there, but Janik Jayasuriya disrupting the ball. Leon says the ref, and rightly so. Rahul De Silva gets a lovely switch away to Hiranta Pereira, and now running onto the ball is Prasad Madhushankar. He's been a try-scoring machine for Havelocks recently, and he gets in the right place at the right time, and a lovely switch pass from Rahul De Silva, setting up that try. And Prasad Madhushankar scored it in the first round against CRNFC as well, and he's got another one. It's the season of his life for him. We see it again here, Madhushankar going in under the post, but we need to see that switch pass from just a few seconds before that.
Look at him go, Shankar. And if I remember correctly, he scored a fantastic intercept try last week against Police. So he's been on fire.
Mark here, mark here.
Brilliant intercept try, about 40 meters he ran, and then before that he had a hat trick in the week before. So for a hooker to be scoring tries like this, one would think his last name is Goalsball.
He certainly is Johnny on the spot, and he just seems to know where the try line is and also where the ball's going to be. And the winger on the outside would have been disappointed the ball didn't come his way, being the fastest player in the team, but comes inside and the hooker scores.
He just might tap on Coach Laga's door and say, look, with Danush Ranjan moving out left, I think you're on the wing.
Prasad Madhushankar is that sort of player, and he's really Jamaldeen missing those points, did he? Here's the try. That's a lovely switch pass from Rahul De Silva. That's what set up the try, committed both those defenders, Ramanayaka and Prince Chamara, and that's a lovely offload to Madhushankar from ThePapare there. Outstanding work from De Silva. Randy Jamaldeen actually did get those points, sorry. So it's 7 points to 3, and it all came again from the bad restart, wasn't it, Paul? Because CRNFC just weren't able to handle that restart from Havelocks. Got under pressure on one side of the field, conceded on the other.
Oh, well, they had an opportunity to get out of jail. They had a penalty 5 metres out from their own line, and then they had another opportunity to kick long, and they decided to kick it up and stay in their half. So maybe they need to play a bit more territory. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Lasin Luisan stays strong in the first tackle, but gets hammered in the second. And the left foot of Rahul De Silva goes long. And a bouncing ball teases Arun Kumar before he finally gets it away to his fullback. Prince Chamara looks for a switch from his wing three-quarter, but instead opts for the boot. And Jamaldeen will now settle things down with a long raking kick downfield, and that's beautifully bounced into touch. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of this tactical kicking, especially given the conditions that teams knew they were coming into. Jan, does that surprise you that teams don't adopt a tactical kicking approach now?
It does surprise me, especially when teams get ahead. You know, they seem to lack the ability to control games. And looking at this week's lineup, Havelocks have Rimzi Jamaldeen at the back, and you know, I think that gives him a big advantage because he's very good with the boot. And he tends to be a bit up and down. Either he's really brilliant or he's having a shocker. So I think today is one of those days where Rimzi is pretty much on the money.
Good rolling ball from Sia again, gaining a good 5-6 meters. Karindra thought the nose, he can't kick this out of the full, but does anyway. He hasn't been quite the same since he came back from dengue. He was diagnosed with dengue fever maybe a day or so before the season kicked off, and he had been their pre-season fly half. A lot was expected from him as well this season, but luck really letting him and the whole CRNFC team down. So since his return, he hasn't quite been on the money. Shankar just missing Gangu Lakshan.
You know, that's a pretty poor play at the back all in all. You know, not only did the throw not hit the man, but you know, you need your tail of your line out to be alert and pick on that ball. And the CR back three of the line out guilty of daydreaming there, Shanaka. You know, it's just not on at this level.
No, it isn't, Jayan, and they should be able to gauge that the ball is going over the hands of the number 6 jumper. I don't know why you're calling to number 6 in this weather in the first place.
Fine.
But
Set. Steady.
So it is. Watch for Lasin Luishan off the back here. Owns the extra man with Rahul De Silva. It's a flat ball going nowhere. Not the greatest pass Niroshan Fernando's ever thrown. Jamaldeen going in for the turnover, but Sia protect that ball well. Arun
Release,
Kumar
release.
puts his head down,
Release,
and that's
Takala.
good counter ruck from Lasindo Ishan.
Get back, last foot. Use it.
Kavindra Di Costa. They're a little too flat, Sia, for my
On
liking.
and back.
Rakvatha now will look to get them some territory. Well read by Thiagaraja. Has played a lot of his rugby at fullback. That's a nice long pass to De Silva, who now finds Samun Herat. Samun knows only one thing to do, put the hammer down, and wins a penalty for his team.
Get back. Get back, number.
Sudarshan Mudutantri going in there, and that's one aspect of his game, Jan. I don't know whether you coached him in school at St. Thomas's, but he really needs to keep his cool, Mudutantri, and stay on the field.
Captain, captain. Captain. White captain.
Yeah, well,
White captain.
it's one of those things. You need to be aggressive, but be able to have that, be able to control that aggression and make that aggression count in a positive way for your team, and not to lose your hat, so to speak.
It's really disappointing to see players use aggression after the whistle's gone, though.
Your fault, right?
You've got to really direct aggression while the ball's in play, and there's no point in doing it after the whistle's gone.
It's good to see them shake hands and get each other's addresses for Christmas cards later on this year. Fernando.
Going to your earlier point, you were commenting that the CR forwards lying flat. I actually don't have a problem with that, but not only are they flat, they seem to be running straight on into the opposing teams. They're not being very elusive.
Well, you're all here gathered in the crowd, and if you want to see shots of yourself, you can definitely do so by connecting to our Facebook page, facebook.com/ThePapare, and all those VIPs and everyone will have loads of access to pictures of themselves, and of course this match. And we're on all the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and the lot. So make sure you join us and stay updated on everything in the world of sport on the ThePapare.com social media platforms. Dushmanta Priyadarshana always looking for work. Takes 3 players to bring him down, but he presents the ball beautifully.
Leon, ball out.
Ball was out, says the ref, and pressure immediately on Rahul De Silva. It's good pressure. And he coughs the ball up, so another defensive scrum for Sia. And will Havelocks turn it on in this scrum, Jan?
Well, they should. They seem to have the upper hand in the scrums. They seem to be having the better of the body positioning in the scrums. And it's a shame because they were poised to really pounce on CR there, and they were getting a good thing going there. And they were sucking the CR defense, so that's another opportunity gone begging. But it's an all-right scrum here.
Fine. Set. Steady.
This
Steady.
is the stuff that front
Steady.
rowers dream
Steady.
about.
The dark arts of the front row.
Well, the new law changes which are going to be experimented with in the Super 15 are designed to actually make those dark arts a little bit more transparent. Good kick from Tarinder Ratpata, and the chase is also not as bad as the ones before, but Sandon Herat busts straight through the middle. Doesn't matter if you chase if you don't make the tackle. And Janik Jayasuriya trundles his way forward. Sudarshan Mudutantri picks and goes as well. This is good from Havelocks. Rahul De Silva, it's quick ball now for Ganuka Disanaika, tries a little one-handed offload, should probably have kept the ball with him, and now Thiagaraja runs on to Hiranta Pereira's grubber, but Prince Chandra is wise to it and runs the ball out, which is a little option to do so. In the second half of this first half, in the second quarter of the game rather, Havelocks really have come into their own. Their game plan seems to be working, and they're executing much better than CRNFC, Paul.
Yeah, they seem to be putting the ball just behind the CR defensive line, but also they're running it up through the middle really well and bringing the crowd into play as well. I heard the crowd starting to get involved in that last passage of play, which is good.
Yes, it's a sparse crowd. A lot of the crowd would have kept away largely because of the rain, and the Havelocks is largely open ground. So I'm sure a lot of you are watching us on thepapare.com, and welcome. If you live in the vicinity, it's still quite clear and doesn't look like it's going to rain anytime soon, so come down to the ground and be a part of the Papare Fan Zone app being launched.
Don't close the gap, Red.
Rohit Rajapaksa as well in the line out, and that's a great bust up the middle from ThePapare, who straightened nicely, and Lasan Duishan goes almost to the 5-meter line. Now it's quick ball for Niroshan Fernando. It's a lovely long ball out, but it's coughed up. Oh dear, that was a shame from Southern Herat. One of the most experienced men on the field. You'd bet him to finish from 5 meters out, Jayan, but unlikely.
Yes.
Here it is from another angle. Kavin Pereira rather does just enough.
Red ball.
Doesn't get his head in the right position, but just manages to make the tackle.
It's a shame, Shanaka, because if Havelocks were able to dot down there, they would have been 12-3 away or 14-3 away, and in these conditions, that would have been a pretty handy advantage to take into half time.
This is not going to be a high-scoring game, is it, Paul?
No, but it could be. There was 3-on-2 there, and if he just put the ball through the hands, we would have scored we would have seen a good try there.
Steady.
Unfortunately, he chose to skip pass, and
In.
CR aren't out of trouble here yet.
Follow it.
Kumar does what a lot of coaches use now on the 5-meter line.
Get
Number
back.
8 break to set up a ruck
Get
and
back.
make things a little easier for the kicker to clear. And Rakpata this time, he's happy he can thump it directly into touch.
This is looking good for Havelock, Shanaka.
Yes, it is, and look at some of the referees' society members in the front row munching on their snacks. And don't forget that you can buy any of the pictures that you see on our Facebook pages and our platforms. You can buy them by just emailing the editor at thepapare.com or calling on 777-330088. You can call that number and buy any of the pictures, available at very reasonable prices. Tiranta Pereira, who's grown into this role as a number 12. Coach Laga almost compelled to use him at 12 because of injuries. Leon says the referee, and Dhanush Ranjan now looking to go on his own. That's a lovely fend. Can he roll over the line? No, he can't. And the try is scored. Ranjan does it himself.
No high tackles.
You can see exactly what it means to him to be back in try-scoring form. And once that ball went to ground and Ranjan picked it up, there was only going to be one winner. And the Sri Lanka centre has shown why he is the most valuable player, at least in financial terms. Here it goes. That's a lovely fend there. Another one coming here. Straight on the neck is Sharma Veerasekara's tackle. And it's not Ranjan actually, it's the player following through that actually makes the try down. Didn't see who it was, but an outstanding bit of play once again from the most dangerous player on the pitch.
Michael Matthews Trophy slowly slipping away, Shanaka. Looks like it's going to be spending a year at Havelock Park.
Another year at Havelock Park, and it's again poor ball handling from Havelock, from CRN FC, that's allowing Havelocks in here, isn't it, Paul?
Well, it's that, but also the last 5 minutes of the half, and now we see the fitness coming into play. And I saw in the end of the last ruck, the forwards for CR were getting up a little slowly, and they're a little bit tired. So now's the time for Havies to have a go.
Rimsey on the money again, Shanaka. So it looks like one of those days where, whatever you touch seems to work your way.
Well, the kicks haven't been too difficult, and we have another replay of that try coming up. Here it is. It's Sandu Herat who tries a little chip kick. Ball goes back over his head, so there's no knockout there. And a few people falling off. That was here. Sharma Veerasekara goes high. Ranjan turns, and just couldn't see who it was there who pounced on the ball at the last minute. But again, a very good opportunistic try from Havelocks, and those are the tries that are going to be scored in these games. You've got to accept that. You've got to be ready for them. Prince Chamara now hoping for some respite before half time from this 11-point gap. And Havelocks will attack with confidence now. Oh, manages to keep it in hand beautifully, Rakpatha. Makes the tackle as well. Raul De Silva. Now Niroshan Fernando. Niroshan Fernando bumps into a couple of tackles. And now Hiranta Pereira is at option to kick long. Does so very well. But Sashan Mohammed throws it to himself. Tries to attack. He knows he has to. And good strength from Hiranta Pereira there to hold the player up.
Must release.
Must release. And can you explain to us why, Paul?
So the tackled player is only a tackled player once his knee hits the ground, and you could see his knee just touch the ground, and the tackler has to immediately release the player. So that didn't occur, and the referee blew it up.
So Hiranta Pereira has Prince Chamara there, and Prince Chamara manages to get his knee on the ground just there, and as soon as that happens, the player is deemed to be on the ground. So as Paul was saying, that's when Hiranta must release. The referee shouted out release as well. So there was a little bit of lack of discipline there, and one knee on the ground is enough for a player to call a tackle, and then he must be released. So remember Jonathan Kaplan, who toured here in Sri Lanka, he said as soon as the knee is on the ground, that player has what the referees call won the contact. So Prince Chamara managed to win that contact at the end. And manages to strike it pretty well as well. You wonder why he wasn't taking the previous ones as well. So Prince Chamara wins the penalty and gets his team within 8 points as well, just on the stroke of half time. So they're just a score and 1 point away, which is a lot better than being 11 points away. Shamli Nawaz directs his troops to have their half-time water, but you can see CRNFC, the body language is not great. They look pretty tired, and Havelocks with the momentum all with them going into half-time. We'll be back on thepapare.com with all the second half action, and don't forget we're launching the Papare Fan Zone app today, so make sure you stay tuned to thepapare.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with action on the Dialog Rugby A Division League in just a few moments.
A little bit of time for rehydrate. And we're happy here because it's also
Havelock it's 14 points to 6 in favor of the home team, and leading very fairly convincingly in the Mathis Trophy standings as well.
Here it is, right on the halfway mark. Take a look, everybody, at the drone.
right? Both teams. General warning, right? Tackle එක අත දාන්න එපා අයින් වෙන්න ඕනේ. Next time penalize කරන්න. Last.
A referee giving a general warning to both teams actually. That's a strange one. I haven't seen that happen before. I think Havelock's probably deserved a general warning for that one.
Yeah, so CR get a warning there for, I'm not sure what they get a warning for.
I think what he was trying to say is there's too many penalties happening in the breakdown, and you know if that continues, someone's going to have to walk.
Here it is. Here you can see Rahul De Silva already still with his hands on the ball and his hands on the player as well. Never released. Just a little bit of discipline, and this is what sets Sri Lanka apart. And the sooner referees start getting stricter on this, the better we are going to become as a rugby nation. Arun Kumar
Finish! No hands!
thumps into his opposite number. Again, good line speed from Havelock in defense.
Back, get back!
Situm Piris wanders around offside. ThePapare puts in a tackle on his former teammate Nipuna Devinda. Tarinder Rathwata looks for the grubber, and it doesn't go anywhere except into the shins of Danush Karanjan, who picks it up gratefully. It's a long kick from Havelock, and it's put some pressure on Sashan Mohammed. It gets away from the first couple of tackles. Situm Piris can't catch him. It was a nice dummy and straightens the play.
Stay on!
First knock forward coming from Havelock, so CRNFC will have a centre field scrum, and they'll really need to do something to get some points on the board. They need to get their X-factor players, guys like Jason Dissanayaka, Sashan Mohammed, Kanchana Ramanayaka into the act, Giant. Not really managing to do that so far.
Yeah, they're not. You know, I thought Sasha Mohammed did very well to bring the ball back, but then there was no one on hand to capitalize on that advantage game. You know, so they seem awfully flat, Shanaka. So that's very concerning if you were a Red supporter. And Havelock still seem very hungry, like you saw that Mudutantri coming up with the ball and just knocking it on. So there's a lot of ground to be made if CR were to snatch this.
Steady.
Barugananakara used as a battering ram. Costa now to Tarinder Rathwata, who stayed in deep in the pocket, and that's a better kick from the fly half. May have overcooked it a little bit, but now the chase needs to be good. And this is what they should have been doing all game, isn't it, Paul?
Looks like it, yeah. Playing more territory and just playing the ball down in the other opposition's half is what they need to do, because with the rugby there's often a lot of mistakes, knock-ons, and you want to be in the opposition's half when that happens.
Well, Rimji Jamaldeen has managed to chase that kick well and drives CR back 50 meters from where they started out. Sashan Mohammed does well. I think he was lucky not to really give away a penalty there. Banugananakara dummies and goes. The guard recovers well enough to make the tackle. And now Kavindra Costa has spotted some space. And Jamaldeen is lucky the ball bounces and rolls into touch.
That's more of the sort of rugby you need to see if you're a forward, where the ball just goes in front of you and the opposition forwards have to turn around and run back towards the ball.
So you come to expect there are a few tired bodies out there, some running repairs being needed. So, well, CR's trying something, you know, it's you need a bit of luck going your way as well, and to be fair, you know, you need to create your own luck too, and CR probably haven't done enough to do that. But there's still a long way to go, and CR would really need to come away with some points from here, Shanaka.
Yes, they're losing a lot of the experience. Of course, Ishan Noor not available for selection due to injury. Ashan De Costa also not available. So quite a few young players in this CR team. The second row combination is entirely new. Lahiru Pavitra is in his first couple of seasons as a club rugby player. So
10 meter back.
leadership really is an issue for them.
Wait. 10 meter back. Their ball.
Prasad
Hurry up.
Madhushankar
1
is
meter
throwing
gap.
to
One.
defensive line out for Havelocks. Sia will do well to contest this one. Shamal Veerasekara is a quick jumper.
Don't cross the gap, Red.
Situm Peris manages to untidy the line out through the contest, and that's a 5-meter scrum. So is this a turning point in the game? Is this where Sia come back into it? Let's wait and see. This scrum is vitally important, and these are the moments, aren't they, Paul? These are moments that win and lose matches, the moments where momentum turns, and it's good to see Sia going into a huddle before going into this.
That's right. I think the players recognise that this is their time, and now they need to turn on, and now it's a great opportunity for them.
All in.
Janik Jasuria swatting that ball back and putting tremendous pressure on Rahul De Silva.
Fine.
So now they've conceded
Set.
the 5-meter scrum as a result of that.
Steady.
You can see Havelock's already looking for the wheel. Arun Kumar runs straight into Sudarshan Mudukantri and spins nicely out of the first tackle.
Roll away. Back. Get back. Get back.
Good tackle from Havelocks. They've driven Sia back.
No hands.
Well
No hands.
made available there from Arun Kumar.
Get back.
Tariq Saleh, in fact, it was. CRN FC opting to keep it close. Now they've gone wide. Tarinder Ratwat goes over the line. The referee gives a try. That'll be a huge boost for the young man and for his team, CRN FC, because it's probably going to be a 7-pointer as well. And that brings them within 3 points. And we were talking, Paul, about whether this is the moment that the momentum turns, and in fact it has been. Watch it again here. There was a bit of confusion as to whether there was an obstruction. Ratpat bounces straight off Kamindu Pereira, but there's nothing wrong there. It looked odd. Hiroshan Fernando throws his arms out in complaint, but there really can't be one, can there, Jan?
No, I think credit to the referee there, because it was inconsequential, and the player that was running the decoy line was behind him, so at no point was he obstructing any defenders. So I think that's fair play to the referee, and we've been very critical of referees since of late, and I think it's important that we praise referees when we get it right, and I think Priyant Tungurata has had a pretty decent game today, and Sia right back in it.
Yes, it's amazing how quickly a game can change, especially with 7 points for a scrum. And it's 19 points to 16, if I'm not mistaken. That score will change on your screens in just a moment. So, Paul, it's setting this up nicely for a last half hour.
And that's the bit of luck they needed, CR. I don't think that was a planned move where the 14 comes in and bumps into the 10 and he goes through the hole. But, if you're at the right end of the field, and that luck goes your way, then you score points. And so that's what they need to do again, to just do the basics right.
Rimzi Jamaldeen signalling to his team where he's going to kick this one. He's had a few interesting restarts already in this game. That one is a more traditional long hanging one. Shamal Veerasekara hangs onto it nicely, and Nipuna Devinda runs onto it. You can see the body language of the CR team visibly changed already. Pressure on Rehan Tyagaraja from Sashan Mohammed. Jamaldeen opts to rake it cross field, and now that's space for Kamindu Pereira to run into. That's a dangerous kick, but Pereira doesn't make the most of it.
No hands! Release!
The ruck was formed, says the referee, screaming for the release, and Kamindu Di Costa finds his winger beautifully, and is this in for the try? Yes, he is. Kanchana Ramanayaka showing why he was the most improved player of last season, and coming up with a moment of magic. He's had an up and down season. He's had problems with making the starting lineup despite being a national player, and you can see how much that means to him. It was a wonderful little kick from Kamindu Di Costa rather, and Kanchana Ramanayaka ran onto it, and they managed to bump off the first defender. It was a well-judged kick, and it was an intentional kick as well. Rahul De Silva getting bumped off by the rather strong Kachara Ramanayak, and Sandun Herat getting wrong-footed as well. And going in under the posts, you can see how much that tactical change has made a difference for the CRNFC team, playing rugby in the right part of the field, as Paul said. And this could be a real game to watch in the next few minutes.
Well, the difference there is the kicking game. We spoke about it at half-time, and we saw two great kicks from CR and a poor kick sideways by Havies, and it really gave the opportunity to CR to come and go ahead, and just two great little box kicks from the number 9.
Where have they been, Shanaka?
Well, I think sometimes you need to have your back to the wall before you can get galvanized into some sort of action. And this is what Sia have been rather afraid to do. That's a crucial kick missed by Prince Chamara. 21 points to 19, it stays. And 23 points to 19 would have given them a little bit of a cushion so that the penalty doesn't get the other team in front. But unfortunately, or fortunately for the game, it stays 21 points to 19, so lots to play for. You can see Havelock trudging back to the halfway line. And just in a moment or two, you can see how the momentum shifts, isn't it, Paul? The body language has been exchanged almost.
Yeah, and it looks like the luck's gone the other way now. The ball is bouncing into the hands of CR, and kickoffs really were a feature for Havies now, and the ball seems to be going back towards CR, so let's just see what happens next.
Well, this is what you were talking about as well, Jan, earlier when you said that Rimji Jamaldi was either brilliant or shocking.
Get back!
And that kick that he chose to put into Kavinda Pereira's hands was not the best judged one at all. And he can do some awesome things, and then he can put his team under serious pressure with things like that as well. Rehan Thiagaraja has had trouble under the high ball all evening, and the former fullback will not want to see a replay of that.
Looks like the tides well and truly turned, Shanaka. You know, the mistakes are now creeping in by players you wouldn't imagine them to affect, and CR have obviously succeeded in somewhat rattling this Havelock side, this Havelock side that looked well and truly away up until this point. So if you're a spectator and tuned in, don't go anywhere, because this is going to be a humdinger, and I'm waiting for probably the most interesting 20 minutes we've had all season.
Set.
Certainly will be with these two evenly matched teams. A referee who's willing to let the play go on, and teams that are looking to go wide as well, so it'll be interesting. Kavinda De Costa sneakily kicking that ball back into the number 8's feet. Escaped the attention of the ref, Nipuna Devinder. Haven't seen much from him today, but he's been working hard in defense. Unable to roll that ball back and present it, and he was unable to do so because of layabout Havelock's players. So Havelock's really have to keep their discipline now and not give away too many penalties. Remember, both teams are on a warning, and Prince Chamara will step up, and much to the joy of the red shirts it will be if this goes over.
Momentum can change at any point, though, and we saw it change, and it's changed twice in this half already, where Havies opened up with a try, and then CR have had everything go their way, and it'll only take one bounce of the ball, and the game can go back the other way easily.
Paul, perhaps the right time to bring you on some reinforcements if you were the Havelock's coach. Players seem to have either probably be tiring or maybe gone off the boil a bit. Maybe it's ideal time to make a bit of an impact.
Traditionally, 60 minutes is the time when you do bring other players on, especially in the tight five, and in this type of weather, it takes its toll.
I would probably think that Havelocks would look to bring on maybe Nishant Pereira or Kevin Dixon for Rehan Thiagaraja, who's had a poor game by his standards, but that kick was not well struck at all by Prince Chamara, and dragged quite wide and flat. So it stays at a 2-point gap, and Sashan Mohammed, who can be such a key player for Sia, good strong finisher. Like to see him in space.
That's a bit unfortunate.
Just a tiny knock on at that breakdown, and despite the very good break from Mohammed, they're not able to convert that into a little bit more pressure.
Yes, CR with the tails up will, they're still only 2 points away, and they like to put some daylight between themselves and Havelocks and get, like you said, beyond that 3-point margin.
Steady. Steady.
It's not great body position from the tight head for Havelocks. Managed to get it away though, and Rahul De Silva's pass is well behind Anushka Ranjan. Good pressure from CRNFC. The flag is a little late coming, but it comes in the end. And Sadhu Meera gets bundled into touch, so Anushka Ranjan opting to pass that. We don't see that too often. Probably when he should have held on to it and gone into contact.
Probably could have put another little kick in and just turn the CR defence around again. And with the ball on the ground in these wet conditions, it's difficult to play.
Number 2.
Situm Piris, another player who donned the red jersey last year, has made the short move across town from Longdon Place to Isipatanamaud. Shamal Veerasekara has been a find. That's on the left of your screen there, along with his captain for the day, Shane Samadapiruma.
36.
He's been very good in the line out and a good mobile second row forward. Needs a few kilos on him to make an impact. Well won in the end by Piris. And now Havelocks will look to go through Sudarshan Muthutantri. Kantara Ramanayaka gets around to try and make the tackle, but the fend is good as well. Muthutantri making about 40 meters with a strong burst. Lasandu Ishan taking this one forward as well. Staying strong in the tackle was the number 8. And now Dushmanta Priyadarshana. Well offloaded in the tackle, and a nice flat pass from Niroshan Fernando to Hiranta Pereira, who straightens it up. Needs support, gets it in the form of his hooker and fly half. Well read there by the CR defense. And now Havelocks looking to reclaim the lead. Rahul De Silva goes back to the side they came from. Dushmanta Priyadarshana. Niroshan Fernando goes in to deputize, and they've got the penalty coming. And Havelocks look to take it quickly, and he's over, is he? Yes, he is.
Is that the hook again, Shanaka? Is it? Oh,
you gotta be joking.
Cannot be serious.
You have got to be joking. Has he scored 4 tries? He has scored 4 tries. Diruk Bhaskaran, who's in our commentary box with us today, confirms that he's got the 4th try as well. So he scored all the tries for Havelocks. He's gone down with a shoulder injury or elbow injury, but he'll take it. Penalties given. Tap and go. Tariq Sali, Shamal Veerasekara having a nap. And the body position is fantastic. And I hope he didn't injure his elbow in the celebration there. Prasad Madhushanka has got 4 tries, gentlemen. Yes, you heard it. He's got 4 tries.
I think he thinks he might have done enough in today's game and might be able to go off and have a rest. I see that 2 players came on for heavies in that little exchange, and maybe that's the momentum changer that they needed.
Well, it's a purple patch indeed. 3 tries a week before, 1 40-meter try last week, and now 4 tries this week, and against quality opposition as well. Prasad Madhushanka will be telling this to his grandkids. Especially, he'll be telling them how he couldn't make the CR team and then came around and scored 4 tries against them the next year. And as Diruk points out, he's got the bonus point all by himself. So it's 24, plays 23. It's actually 24-21.
15 minutes.
And now we've got 26-21, is it? 26-21, so a 5-point lead again. You can see how quickly things can change. Just as Jan was saying and Paul was saying, how soon the momentum can turn. And Giant, as we've been talking about, that was a superb burst almost out of nowhere from Sudarshan Muthutantre, which took play into the opposition 22. He completely destroyed people with that pace on the outside. And it's those sort of moments that really create momentum for the team, isn't it? Because you see your key players doing something spectacular and you just want to join in.
Exactly, Chanaka. And, CR managed to come back with 2 stunning tries for themselves. But, when they were red hot, they gave a cheap knock-on away and gave the momentum back to Havelocks. And, well, the rest is history. And Havelocks is back in front. So when you're red hot, you need to make those opportunities count. And at the moment, Havelocks are making the better of their chances.
Heavy's conceding another penalty, so the referee though seems to have forgotten the general warning he gave, so penalty is still coming thick and fast from the Heavies. He might look to go to his card. Kanchana Ramanayaka taking some leadership responsibility. Bhanu Kananiakkara making good ground. Sasanka Ariyaratne also on for
I thought that was perhaps a bit harsh, Chanaka. So if you get yellow card for that, I thought that would be incredibly hard. I thought Sudarshan Muthutantre was entitled to go back for the ball. The ruck hadn't formed yet, but
Red number 11 now.
well, the referee thought otherwise. But by and large, I have to say it's been a fascinating game of open rugby, despite the weather conditions. And part of the credit has to go to Priyanka Gunaratne, who's really, let the game flow.
He has indeed. And it's a nice front peel from Sia, although Shamal Veerasekara was in a bit of strife coming down from that line out. Sasanka Ariyaratne fights his way down, but the referee had already blown it up for being held up in the tackle. And again, Sia, despite trying their best, cough up the ball. So again, I'm wondering why they're not using that rolling maul, which they use in the defensive half, Paul, in these particular situations to just grind the opposition down.
They
Hurry up, hurry up.
that looked like a planned move as well. I thought it was a little bit harsh because it looked like the player attacked his head. He might have gotten a penalty for that, and he almost got to the ground in time, but the referee didn't think so. But they're in the right part of the field, so with 12 minutes to go, let's see what they can do from here.
Well, there might actually be a few more minutes because our clock is not the same as the referee's clock.
Get back. Number
So
9.
we'll tell you
Roll away.
just
Roll away.
indicatively
Back.
how much there is. Lasan Devishan with a good break, but Rahul De Silva
Sorry, they are both.
makes a really crucial error. Really crucial error for him.
He's given the ball to Havelock, Shank, so it's probably a knock-on that occurred by one of the CR players during that ruck or at that breakdown.
Might have knocked it out of Rahul's hands, perhaps.
White ball.
Sasanka
forward,
Ariyaratne
white ball.
will add some
White
impetus
ball.
and a little bit of pace to this third row. It's a guy who gets around the park.
Crouch. Bind.
Tariq Saleh going into number 8.
Set. Steady.
Binding only in token fashion. And slicing off the boot of Niroshan Fernando, which gives about 25 meters respite from the line.
Mark here.
Listen Flatley is on the park.
Out.
Braids and all. Well, won by Sia. Again, they opt not to go for the drive, but beautifully laid away to Tariq Saleh, but the pass is forward. And it seemed like the Havelock's defensive line was up very, very quickly there. There's 20 meters supposed to be between the 2 3/4 lines, and they somehow made that gap seem very short at that point. Here's the replay. The line-out is over only now, and the Havelock's defense was moving well before that. And I think CR are a little bit unlucky, A, not to have a penalty, and B, not to have a try, because if not for the defense coming up so quickly, that pass wouldn't have been forward.
Steady. Steady. Roll away. Back.
Dylan Soiza on the pitch as well for Sierra FC, the scrum half. Can expect some fireworks from him. Rahul De Silva. Prince Chamara, well chased by Hiranta Pereira. Sia forwards do well to get back. Retain the ball. Kavinder De Costa also on the pitch. So two scrum halves on the park for Sia. Dylan Soiza, that is, who gets dragged to ground, and Janik Jasuria counter-rucks and is on the chase. And it looks like there's been a little bit of a knock-on. Janik Jasuria thought he'd scored a try, chasing a kick 40 meters. You can see he enjoyed that one. It's probably never happened before in his life. Part of that champion 2009 Thomian team.
Look at him go, Shanaka.
Sasank Aryaratne, terror in his eyes if you could only see them. And Danushka Ranjan running into the padding. He'll have hurt his ribs there for sure, but he knocks the ball on in the process. And Janik's chase is to no avail as a result.
There was a try there for the taking, and they perhaps could have even touched the ball against the padding there. But oh well.
Time on.
It's one of those things, you know. He actually doesn't, and looks like nothing's going to take away from Pradeep Mandushankar's day today, Shanaka.
Yeah, looks like it is. He's trying hard to be the sole try scorer for Havelocks rather. He's gone off the field as well after that fourth try. I'm sure he won't mind. Liston Flatley is on. And Coach Laga's concerns about his hooker's work rate will be put to rest today. Tariq Sali, the open side flanker, turn number 8 now for his second 20 minutes of the first half. Not binding by Sudarshan Mututantri, allowed the tackle to happen. We're almost at the end of February, so don't forget that March Madness is around the corner with all your big matches coming up. ThePapare.com has all the plans to bring that action to you, live to your screens. And share the March Madness with all of you guys who follow the big matches, the Royal Thomians, the Anand and Alanders, the Joe Peets, the Richmond Mahindras, the Trinity St. Anthony's. All of these matches will be brought to you live and exclusively on ThePapare.com, wherever you are in the world.
Not to mention the small matter of the school season starting the week after third week of March, Shanaka.
Yes, can't wait for that. It's going to be a very competitive school season indeed. Looking for some new players to take Sri Lankan rugby forward. Jason Dissanayake. Now there's numbers on the outside. Malinda Hettiarachchi cuts back in.
Oh, that's unfortunate, isn't it?
He's a big man on the field for Havelocks. That's Udara Anjana.
Number 4. Red number 4. Red number 4.
Gavin Sigurds comes on for Panduka Angamana. He's had a quiet game by his standards. He's played quite well in the last couple of matches for CRN FC. Must have been expecting a little bit more from him in the terms of ball carrying.
Bite. Set. Steady.
Rahul De Silva attacking from deep is Hiranta Pereira now. Long ball out to Jamaldeen, who's gives it to his captain. In fact, it's Nishan Pereira who's made it onto this wing.
Number in red. Red number.
Good run by Hettiarachi, who started the season at hooker but now comes off the bench.
Wait.
Gavin Sigurds forms a
Returning area no.
trio of Westyites on the pitch, if I'm not mistaken. Situm Piris, Rahul De Silva and Gavin Sigurds. And of course the Samantha Peruma brothers. So 5 of them. Sia using this rolling maul in their own 22 as a defensive weapon. I don't understand why they haven't used it as an attacking weapon so far. Do you agree, Paul?
Yeah, that's right. And I think it does suck in the defensive line and
Offside.
mean that there are spaces just outside the ruck.
That tackle made by Dushmantha Priyadarshana will probably attract a yellow card for the prop. And yes, that is the case.
Not 10 meter.
Well, we have to give a man of the match award in a few moments. And there have been some good performances by both teams, some good plays. But when a bloke has scored 4 tries, can you really give it to anyone else? Dushmantha Priyadarshana has played the last few minutes of this game. I would imagine that there won't be time for him to come on. Any other contenders, you think, gentlemen?
Ball.
I thought the referees had a good game. Just let the game go and let the players play rugby. That's been a feature of the game. I thought the 10 for Havies has had a great game. His kicking game's been excellent.
Time off.
And for CR, they've had a couple of forward leaders. I'm
Time on.
not sure who they are, but there've been a couple of guys who have called the group together, especially when they were 5 metres out and they needed to score, and they galvanised their team.
Dharmesh Ranjan was pretty brilliant at times, but then you come to expect that week in and week out with him. But when a hooker scores 4 tries, well,
Not straight.
it would be
Not straight.
would be equivalent to a crime, isn't it, to give to someone else, Chanaka?
Absolutely, Jan. I don't think we can justify giving it to anyone else. Prasad Madhushanka, it is our man of the match for his 4 tries. Johnny on the spot. Gilan Soiza. Snuffled by Dushmantha Priyadarshana.
Time off.
Not so much the tackle, I think it's just the fact that he hadn't retreated 10 meters, Shanaka, which was the problem there.
And the laws are very strict on it, of course. If you haven't gone back 10 meters, you can't attempt to make a tackle on a player who's taken a quick tap. And I remember going back a few years to Martin Johnson's England side, who with 13 men on the pitch kept their discipline beautifully in the face of so many quick taps taken by Richie McCaw's men.
All in. Ready. Crouch.
Managed to win that game in
Bind.
rainy Wellington, was it?
Set. Steady.
Yeah, I remember
Steady.
that game. Wasn't that Manonu's debut, Sean? Something to that effect, was it him pairing up with Tanomaga on that day? And for me, that was the day that I really believed England was going to win that World Cup in 2003.
Mark here.
A long time ago.
Mark here.
England,
England have an Aussie at the helm now, and they, with early signs anything to go by, looks like they've really scouted that they probably have what it takes to dominate World Rugby again. I'm sure us all black supporters here would have a lot to say about that, but both teams going 2 different ways.
Yes, they are. And Eddie Jones is a man known for results, and that's something that we have come to expect from him as well. Did some fantastic things with Japan in this recently concluded World Cup. Prince Chamara checking inside. Dilan Soiza seeking oh dear,
That's pretty unfortunate, isn't it?
That's a harsh one. That have to be called.
Is that the last chance? It's getting close to the end of the game, and they're really having a shot at it here. But
Well, if you're part of the CR forwards, you're just going to put everything into the scrum. It's now or never, literally, and
Hurry up.
hope that you just shove Havelocks off the ball, win a penalty for yourself, just stand king to the corner, and leave it in the hands of the Almighty from there.
Bind.
Well, he sent showers of blessing, and only one team
Steady.
seems to be profiting
Steady.
from them at the moment.
Penalty.
Oh, there you go. What was I saying, Shanaka?
was a bit of gamesmanship from Havelock, so the referee has cottoned onto it and marched them forward 10 meters. So there's no time obviously to kick for the 3 points.
Last line out. Pull out.
And they can
No,
go
there is
for
time. He says there is time, so
not for the 3, they've obviously got to kick for the corner.
yeah.
Maybe an opportunity here for their driving maul.
Last line.
And
last
we
move.
need to remember that Havelock
Last
is the
move.
man down as well that got their prop
10
forward
meter
off.
back. 10 meter back. Let's come up.
So it's 8 on 7. So it's well, Shankar, maybe we'll have to eat our words.
Well, even a try is only going to be a tie.
Ball out. Hands.
So Sia have to score a goal to
Last
win
move.
this one,
Last
even though they won't win the
Use
Magic
it.
Trophy. Dilanso is directing traffic. A good, well-timed counter-ruck from
No hands. No hands.
Havelocks.
No hands. Back.
Jason Disanaika, who's really been anonymous today, not fitting into the 15s brand of rugby as well as he does into the 7s format.
Back.
Driving it forward is the captain, Samada Perumal.
Back. Back.
Gavin Seagart's fresh legs, but can't drive them too far forward.
No hands. No hands.
Dilanso is up.
Roll away. Back.
Long ball from Prince Chamara. Oh, and that pass looked like it might have been forward.
No, why would you do that?
Line out.
And that's the end of the game by the looks of things. Yes, it is. So Havelocks hold on desperately to win that game. A shake of the head from Janik Jasuria, wondering how did that get so close. But in the end, CRNFC, despite a spectacular comeback to take the lead for a few moments, did outstandingly well. But Havelocks played better over the 80 minutes. Paul, your thoughts on the result, a deserved one?
I thought it was a deserved win for Havies. They did play better at the contact, at the breakdown. They seemed to dominate. You saw that in the late in the second half, where they came through and counter-rucked really well and disrupted the CR's attack. So Coach Lager will be happy with that. And I thought that on Thursdays, and you know, the training that you have and the hard yards you're putting together at training really pays off in the last 5 minutes, where you have to dig in and you look to play for your teammates, and that's what showed today.
So two Wesleyites having a laugh with each other. It's good to see a sort of camaraderie between these two teams. It's something that's been missing in Sri Lankan rugby for a while, and it's good that these younger players who know each other through schools keep those friendships going in Stitch. And it's been a very, very interesting game here for us. So you've seen a few drab games in the Dialog Rugby A Division League, but this certainly wasn't one of them.
Yeah, it's as we draw close to the season, we just got a couple of weeks left, I believe, for the regular season. It's a fitting game for a local derby, and I thought that CR did well to come back, but Havelock's probably the better team over 80 minutes.
Yes, 80 minutes is what it takes to win a rugby match, not 75 or even 79, as Ireland found out a few years ago. Havelock's has 26 and CRNFC 21 is how he finishes in the Matthews Trophy. So Havelock's doing the double over this opposition in the league and winning the Matthews Trophy rather comfortably as well, scoring 4 tries to CR's 2. CR managing to come back into the game with those two tries, and no penalties for Havelocks and 3 penalties from the boot of Prince Chamara, keeping them in the game in that first half, and the 2 tries coming in the second half. So Prasad Madhushankar, the man of the match for his spectacular 4 tries, some of them close range, some of them he had to work a little bit as well. So outstanding work from him in attack, and Coach Laga will be hoping he takes that work ethic into his defensive game and core skills game as well. So on a wet evening here at Havelock Park, on a day that we have seen the launch of the ThePapare Fan Zone app, which I'm sure you guys will all download, all you guys watching us on thepapare.com. We'll see you for the final week of the Dialog Rugby A Division League next week. So until then, have a great time and have a great evening and a good week ahead. We'll be back with you with our breakdown segment over the course of the week as well. To Paul Toya and John Gunatilaka, thank you very much for joining us in the commentary box.
Now transact with over 40 million EasyCash customers via Dialog, Etisalat and Hutch. Dial #111# to register today. Now use selected commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience.
Now I can withdraw EasyCash from any commercial bank ATM which displays the EasyCash logo. Select cardless transactions. Select your preferred language. Select EasyCash. Type in the amount you need. Enter your EasyCash account number. You will receive a message onto your mobile. Enter your EasyCash PIN and send to complete your transaction.
Fabulous. There you go. Well played, Havelock. Very good story. Great game all the way down to the wire. It didn't happen anyway. Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez, Jay, and of course, our president, Mr. Lal Silva. Thank you very much indeed. From all of us at Dialog Rugby, ThePapare.com. Thank you. Catch you up in Kandy.
Now transact with over 40 million EasyCash customers via Dialog, Etisalat and Hutch. Dial #111# to register today. Now use selected commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience.
Now I can withdraw EasyCash from any commercial bank ATM which displays the EasyCash logo. Select cardless transactions. Select your preferred language. Select EasyCash. Type in the amount you need. Enter your EasyCash account number. You will receive a message onto your mobile. Enter your EasyCash PIN and send to complete your transaction.
Now use commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience. Call 7111 for more information. EasyCash, money in your mobile. Connect to Sri Lanka's largest Wi-Fi network with over 2,500 hotspots across the country. Cafes, restaurants, colleges, hospitals, bus stands, train stations and many more. Select Dialog Wi-Fi and visit wifi.dialog.lk to register and get your username and password. Choose from 4 easy ways to top up your account. Go Wi-Fi, go Dialog.
Sri Lanka is a small but proud nation, and we know we can conquer the world. So to me, it's important not to settle for anything but the best. Dialog Television is our window to the world. It brings us the widest range of knowledge, information and entertainment from across Sri Lanka and the globe, from education for our kids to the latest movies. Dialog Television, powered by the very latest in digital satellite technology, connects the world to every Sri Lankan home. Dialog is the future today.
Don't be constrained. Be versatile, be flexible. You have the power. Set talk time, SMS and data quotas to match your style and enjoy the full potential of your mobile package. It's my plan from Dialog. Absolute power to you.
To create your own plan, visit www.dialog.lk/myplan or call 1777 for more information.
Now, reserving your train tickets is as easy as reaching for your Dialog mobile. Just dial 444 and get instantly connected with the Dialog Expo Rail ticket reservation service. A new and hassle-free way to discover the breathtaking sights and sounds of Sri Lanka is now conveniently at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Dial 444 to reserve your Expo Rail train ticket today. Dialog, the future today.
This is iPhone 6s. Not much has changed, except it responds to the pressure of your finger. So you can peek into stuff. And pop stuff open, which changes how you play a song. Read a text. Read an email. Read the news. Wait, you read the news?
Yep.
Of course you do. Now you can change apps like this, pay at more places like this, and the new color looks like this. It's rose gold, it's awesome. And Siri is more helpful than ever.
Hey Siri, show me photos of tortellini.
Here are some images of tortellini.
Maybe get takeout? The camera shoots 4K video now, which changes how your movies look. Nice. Even selfies have changed. Now your screen is the flash. That's gonna get like 1 million likes.
Thanks.
Actually, photos themselves have changed. They move now. You just touch them. So yeah, that's what's changed.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue. And the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow, while no one can die. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh.
Serving over 240 million customers across Asia. Asiata, advancing Asia.